Maybe you built a capable life that pays for what you need, but work takes so much of you that little is left to enjoy it. After 40, wanting more life is not failure. It is information. Barista work can look like a clean downshift, smaller responsibility, tangible work, human contact, and a shift that ends. But the full job also means pace, standing, cleaning, stocking, customers, schedules you may not control, and a paycheck that may not carry the life your career built. So before anyone resigns on Friday and clocks in on Monday, we'll run a 2-track test: the complete barista job and whether a smaller version of your current career could return the same life with less financial exposure. Before comparing jobs, name what you want back. Is it an evening that belongs to you? Energy for relationships, health, caregiving, community, creativity, or enough quiet to feel present in your own life? You do not have to choose one. Now name what the change must protect: housing, monthly cash needs, health coverage, debt payments, retirement progress, emergency reserves, people who depend on you, and a route back if the experiment fails. Wanting financial comfort is not greed. It may be the safety you spent years building. Those 2 lists are your change board: the life you want to recover and the floor you refuse to break. Keep both visible from here forward. The barista idea may be a job preference. It may also signal that the version of success that once fit has outgrown its boundaries. That deserves action, but does not dictate which action. Give the current career a test too. Could fewer hours, another employer, a lower pressure role, leave, consulting, hybrid income, or leaner expenses recover the same life with less disruption? If the cafe image disappeared, would you still want the complete shift? If your work became genuinely smaller, would you still need a new title? Testing both possibilities does not minimize your need for change. It protects that need from being handed to the first attractive answer. Now, let's look behind the counter. A barista shift is more than handing a finished drink to a customer. It is taking orders and payments, preparing drinks and simple food, explaining menu choices, cleaning equipment and surfaces, restocking, labeling, grinding or packing coffee, coordinating with a team, and resetting the station for the next order. That can be satisfying work. It can offer visible completion and direct human contact. It is also skilled service labor, shaped by standards, repetition, customers, and pace. The useful question is not, could I make coffee? It is, would I want to perform the whole role consistently, including the cleanup after the pleasant exchange? For now, meaning is mixed, and physical fit remains unknown. The broader occupation usually has a low formal entry barrier. No specific credential or prior experience is typically required, and training commonly happens on the job. That describes access, not whether an employer will hire you or the work will fit. A hospital cafe, university operation, hotel, national chain, institutional kitchen, and independent shop can differ in pace, staffing, hours, customer flow, benefits, and expectations. Kansas City listings make those settings real, but a few listings cannot tell us what a typical offer looks like. Ask which setting supplies the boundary you actually want. The transition may be quick on paper and still require careful selection. Entry looks accessible. Setting fit is unresolved. Test the ordinary week, not the best afternoon. Occupation data describes prolonged standing, continual hand use, repetitive motion, frequent contact, and limited freedom to step away. Employers may also need early, late, weekend, holiday, or changing shifts. Those patterns do not diagnose your body, predict injury, or decide whether you can do the work. They tell you what to observe firsthand. After a normal demanding week, would the schedule and physical recovery leave the usable life you hope to regain? Would the hours be predictable enough to plan dinner, sleep, exercise, family, or care? Schedule control is mixed. Physical fit stays unknown until your own experience in this particular setting supplies evidence. The August Kansas City refresh verified 3 dated examples: a campus posting at $15.60 an hour, a hospital range from $17.50 to $20.50, and a hotel posting at $16.74. They show jobs in different settings. They do not establish typical pay, beginner pay, guaranteed hours, tips, or complete compensation. Missouri and Kansas rules must also stay separate. The job state matters. Before treating any listing as a plan, get written details. Hourly rate, paid hours, tips, benefits, schedule, break practice, staffing, duties, and start conditions. Strip away the cafe image and the headline range. What job actually exists on paper? Employer terms remain unknown until a dated offer answers that question. Here is the first trade. A smaller professional identity may release open-ended strategy, late-night decisions, and the feeling that every problem becomes yours. When the employer and schedule support a boundary, a shift can offer a clearer field of responsibility. But smaller does not mean easy, calm, or low skill. Orders, customers, recipes, food safety standards, staffing, equipment, cleanup, teammates, and the manager still shape the day. One kind of pressure may end, while another becomes immediate and public. Which responsibility are you trying to release? Does this job release it, or only change its shape? Stepping down in title is not stepping down in dignity. It is a work design choice, and the new design has to earn the boundary it promises. The second trade is meaning. A drink is made, a counter restocked, a customer helped, and the result is visible. If your work disappears into meetings or decisions that never feel finished, that human skill completion may matter. The contact arrives complete, the friendly regular and impatient customer, the quiet hour and line that will not shrink, the satisfying craft and repeated task. You do not choose only meaningful interactions. Do you want that full kind of contact, or mostly the welcoming cafe image? Wanting more human work is valid, even if this exact service role is not the right vehicle. The job may provide visible contribution. It cannot guarantee happiness, calm, or meaning. Meaning stays mixed. Physical fit stays unknown over the course of weeks. The third trade is time. In the approved illustrative scenario, the current career anchor is 55 work hours a week. The direct full-time barista path uses 38. On paper, that creates 17 hours. But gross hours are not automatically fully usable life. Rotating starts, split availability, weekends, commute, recovery, or a second income stream can take pieces back. A shorter week you cannot predict may be harder to use than a longer week with real control. So do not ask only, how many hours will I work? Ask, are those hours actually mine, predictable enough to plan, and recoverable enough to enjoy? Potential time recovery is real in the model, not guaranteed once the novelty has worn away. Time to transition and schedule control remain mixed. Now, place that time beside money. This is an illustrative Kansas City planning persona, not a metro average. $7,500 monthly take-home, a $4,200 cash floor, $600 for benefit sensitivity, $1,250 for retirement, a $25,200 reserve, and a 40-hour desired ceiling. Tips are strictly zero. In the model, direct full-time barista work at 38 hours leaves a $2,796 monthly cash gap. After lost retirement, the economic gap is 40-46, with about 8.8 months of runway. A paid side test preserves income, but pushes total work to 70 hours. A hybrid reaches 48.5 hours and clears the cash floor by 162, yet still has a $463 economic gap. A redesigned current career reaches 43.3 hours, with a $2,175 cash surplus and $1,988 economic surplus, if retained income and written boundaries are real. Does the life gained survive how it must be financed? Income is unfavorable. Household exposure is demanding. You would not enter empty-handed. Communication, judgment, reliability, conflict handling, operations, and training experience may transfer. They can help you ask better questions and learn deliberately. But maturity does not replace beginner pace, service routines, physical adaptation, or an employer's expectations. Testing can become a trap. Stack a 15-hour cafe job onto a 55-hour career, and the 70-hour week may measure overload, not fit. A useful test buys specific evidence. An interview about scheduling, permitted observation, a commute rehearsal, an application, written terms, or carefully bounded paid work. Set a learning question, time ceiling, recovery rule, and exit date before you begin. Can you learn without consuming the life you are trying to recover before you increase the commitment? Transferability and reversibility both remain mixed. 4 outcomes are responsible. Make the change fits. When first-hand exposure confirms the complete role. Written terms protect your floor. Usable time returns, and exit conditions are acceptable. Build toward it fits. When the work is right, but a benefits, debt, reserve, schedule, recovery, or reentry gap can close. Test it first fits. When you know the image better than the shift, lack written terms, or have not tested a smaller current career. Not this change fits when you want atmosphere more than the work, require optimism, or another path returns more life with less exposure. These are evidence conditions, not courage rankings. A responsible no can protect a genuine yes to change. Barista work may provide narrower responsibility, tangible completion, direct contact, a smaller professional identity, and evidence without an immediate leap. It may fit when the ordinary shift, employer, schedule, body demands, and household math support those gains. It cannot promise happiness, calm, meaning, good management, schedule control, financial comfort, benefits, retirement protection, physical fit, or a typical Kansas City outcome. The need named at the beginning can still be completely valid, even if this job is not the answer. Does the ordinary shift express your values? Or are you asking a title to solve what requires a broader life redesign? The earned board, meaning mixed, control mixed, income and security unfavorable, transition time mixed, household exposure demanding, physical fit unknown, transferable experience mixed, reversibility mixed. No gain cancels a condition you cannot carry, so the decision is test it first. Test the complete barista job and a smaller career. Neither gets a free pass. Evidence may support make, reveal a build gap, require another test, or point to not this change. Testing is movement, and no to this vehicle can still mean yes to a different life. Run the 2-track smaller life test. Name what must return and your floor. Cash, coverage, retirement, reserve, obligations, time, recovery, and reentry. Request a career redesign with limits and a review date. Investigate barista work through interviews, observation, commute rehearsal, applications, and dated terms. Use paid exposure only with a question, time ceiling, recovery rule, and exit date. Choose the next sized move. Make, build, test again, or not this change. Test the vehicle. What change are you considering? And what do you hope it gives you? Comment and subscribe. Next, we test another promise of freedom, becoming a landlord after 40, and whether a rental creates freedom or another job to carry. Life doesn't end at 40. Sometimes that's when it begins again.